there's a bumper. That's the trailer. That's the YouTube trailer.
Are we live? Have you? See, we need to get one of these situations where we start the episode and I'm like this.
There it is.
Are we live? Man, I can't get it going.
Can you guys hear me?
It's not working. What's going on? Oh. I think that's working.
Very live.
We're very live. Anyways, welcome to the Clout podcast.
Happy weekend.
Happy Merca.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Merca.
Yep. It's supposed to
Happy
be
American holiday weekend.
Yeah. Celebrating with a strongly worded tweet.
Yeah, we will.
That's how I celebrate my
We certainly will.
dependence.
Independence. Did you say dependence?
I said what I said.
The only thing I'm dependent on is how many seconds are we through? We're past 30?
We're there.
Past 30? The only thing I'm dependent on is marijuana.
Marijuana.
That might still get us flagged, just me saying that.
Yeah, you can't be saying that.
Nah, I don't think so. Sebede.
We're
Have
still
you ever
there.
watched The Majority Report with Sam Cedar?
On this
Besides
show.
the clips that
Only
I've shown
on
you?
this show.
Yeah, he's sponsored by like a marijuana company, a dispensary, and he said when he says CBD, like I guess the algorithm will pick that up specifically. But so he changes it to Sebede, and they never pick it up.
Sebede.
You like that? It's pretty cool, isn't it?
I like it.
Trick. There's a trick for you.
It's too bad you said the real thing on our stream, so now we'll be
CBD.
smacked by the algorithm gods.
Yeah, well, I don't care really. Like, we don't get paid, so.
I'm out here pissing off all the gods, so might as well throw the algorithm god in there.
You know who's real pissed off at the algorithm gods this week? JP coming at you. Jordan Peterson's really pissed at the algorithm gods. And it's not really like what I planned on talking about this week with him, because we are talking about JP coming at you this week. In this episode. Hard.
Thank someone's god for that.
But,
That's a bad title. I have such a...
do you like how I did that? I said like, and then I took a drink.
And then took a major drink.
It was like,
Yeah.
and I needed it. It was like a thirst quenching drink there. So, I hope I held everyone's suspense right there with that one. I don't even really remember what I was talking about. I was just saying, basically, JP's a piece of shit. So, you know how last week, we'll just get right into it. You know how last week, he tweeted the shit about Elliot Page and said all that nonsense? Basically, the tweet was like, remember when pride was a sin? And whatever, a doctor cut her tits off as a criminal or something like that. Because he's a freak of nature. And of course you would say that. Well, that got him not only suspended on Twitter, but YouTube as well. So he had to make a...
But that's such an infringement of his rights.
I mean...
He has the right to have a social media platform.
What am I going to do without my social media platform? What am I going to do?
Ethan, can you re-upload our episodes of your podcast? I could really use the ad revenue, Ethan.
If your podcast isn't up and my YouTube channel isn't up, no one will get to learn what real men are. No one. What are we going to do?
Does Jay Skeet have a Patreon? I bet he does.
He does for sure, and I'm pretty sure that that's what half of this shit's on, but we need to look
God,
up
can you
this
imagine
clip.
that fucking echo chamber that Patreon
Twitter
page must
ban.
be? So what, who did he up?
I guess it wasn't YouTube, it was just Twitter then. I must be
Okay.
I must be mistaken on that. I must have misspoke.
Before this guy even starts,
A few days ago,
fuck you, Jordan. What is with this bat? Like, really?
It's very dramatic, right?
It's such a dramatic. You got banned from Twitter, dude. I have like 3 cousins who get banned from Twitter or Facebook 3 to 4 times a year, my guy, for posting memes. You came out here, you brought out a production company with lightings and some old ass fucking dusty chair in an equally dusty suit, and you put on this whole fucking thing for a Twitter ban?
Oh,
my God.
It's me, JP.
And you're gonna talk about other people's masculinity and manhood, and then you gonna put all this effort into, I don't know, man. Maybe you should just clean up your own backyard, JP. That's all I got to say.
Put a pause on the whole masculine blah 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 shit, and remember that when we get to the JP and Dave Rubin shit, because I had a remark, I had like a thought while I was watching it about the whole, yes, your whole idea of like, how can you judge someone else's masculinity when you look like when you're doing this?
Which you shouldn't
He's so extra
even do, which is kind of the point. Like, it's not defined, you know? It's not for me to define Danny's masculinity or for anybody else. So you just shouldn't even cast that stone or play that game. But if you're going to be so full of bravado and be a little shitheel, like, maybe just be a man and just do a regular old fucking Instagram-style selfie cam, Twitter, put it up as a YouTube short. You didn't need... How much money did you drop on your...
man.
On your little apology video?
What are we going to do without men?
Stupid.
We're not going to watch this because guess what? It's fucking stupid. And we have a lot of JP to watch. I just wanted you to kind of see this. And I was going to sum it up. Because all he says is, oh yeah, I like that tweet. Literally, he goes through and basically like explains why all of it is true still. And misgenders over and over again. Def Noodles does a great video on it. This is kind of like shit I was just seeing today. So I honestly haven't... this was new.
This is
just
like
yesterday. So.
Straight from the Nikocado Avocado playbook right here, where he feigns this whole big production. I notice how it's almost a 15-minute video, so that's pretty algorithm friendly right there. He makes it look like it's going to be some big production, and then you're saying, yeah, he basically just does. It's a nothing burger for 15 minutes, so it's just a shot for Peterson to monetize this. Oh my God, I've been Twitter banned, which again happens to virtually everyone. Maybe it's worse on Facebook than it is on Twitter, but getting put in Twitter jail, I see shit on my timeline daily. Back from Twitter jail, like this is such a nothing. What an idiot! I mean, you're making money off of the dumbest thing ever. So I guess props, whatever, to your money making. You fucking idiot.
So we're gonna look at this image. We're gonna listen to this.
I dreamed I saw my maternal grandmother sitting by the bank of a swimming pool, which was also a river.
Put
Her
this
genital
on mute
region
and then
was
let it play,
exposed
so it'll
dimly.
look like it's him
It had the
saying
appearance of a thick mat of hair. She was stroking herself absent-mindedly. She walked over to me with a handful of pubic hair compacted into something resembling a large artist's paintbrush. She pushed this at my face.
Oh.
I raised my arm several times to deflect her hand.
Wow.
Finally,
Grandma.
unwilling to hurt her or interfere with her any further, I let her have her way.
Jesus.
She stroked my face with the brush gently and said, like a child, "Isn't it soft?" I looked at her ruined face and said, "Yes, Grandma, soft."
Late edition Dave Rubin.
Soft pubes.
Oh God, let's
shit.
do it. I mean,
it's off the rails now. I got Sam Cedar playing in the background.
Additional commentary.
What do you think about that?
That was worth it. That was so worth it to have that.
I let her have her way.
Was that a dream? I'm assuming, is that a dream he's talking about?
Yeah, so he had a dream that his grandma did this. I guess. Which, I mean...
Why would you tell anyone that dream?
Right. It would definitely be weirder if
he just wrote it.
If it happened.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So I'm glad for
That's
him
the weirdest outcome,
that it
certainly.
did not happen. However, having said that, if I dreamed this, not a soul would know that I dreamed this. Why would you tell?
Yeah, what was the? Was there? I'm
you
assuming. However boldly, that there was more to that story, and that there was a point to that dream that he was at some point going to get to.
I let her have her way.
That's gotta be a better way to say that.
There might have been something to that clip. I don't know. I don't know. He wants to present himself as such an intellectual, okay? So like you're inclined to always take him seriously. But you see what he said, you see like that kind of situation, like what he says there. And you're like, only an idiot would say that and not obviously know that people are going to make fun of you. That. So it's hard to believe that he, like, Mr. Intellectual doesn't realize what he's doing. So then it makes me think that he's doing it on purpose. But what the fuck is that? So I don't understand what his shtick is. Is he like the dumb guy that's trying to act very smart and like getting away with it, like Pinky and the Brain style? Is he Pinky or is he the Brain?
Yeah, is he a smart guy pretending to be dumb to make money off of other dumb people?
Right. Is he that's the Brain, I guess. I don't know what analogy. I can't connect the analogy anymore with the Pinky and the Brain.
I don't know if that works.
My idea was just that he's either dumb and trying really hard to pretend to be smart, and people believe him a lot of the time, so he's like validated a bunch, or he's smart and he does all of this orchestrated, and that's a really smart guy, I guess. Because he's fucking planning everything he's saying and all this grift so he can make the maximum amount of money and fans. Oh my god, he's a terrible person.
Yeah,
we're gonna get into a little bit of that.
It's probably a little bit of both, honestly. I think after a while he started to realize.
I let her have her way. Her pubes painted my face with a brush. A stinky, grandmotherly smell. I smelled her dusty vagina. Then she sat on my face. I was alarmed. I couldn't breathe. I yelped for breath. Until I woke up out of my dream, hard as a rock, not knowing what to do with myself. I just made all that up off the riff, but it sounds like something you'd say. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Elliot Page, your boobs. Such a crime. What trash can did they throw your boobs in? I'll go find it. We'll give it to her. We'll give those breasts back out. Like God intended. Gandhi intended. I almost said Gandhi.
God and Gandhi.
Like Gandhi intended.
How'd you know the name for my testicles?
So... now we can get into a little sad bit for JP, because this whole interview with him and Dave Rubin, I mean, it's not sad for... It's not sad for JP, really. It's more sad for Dave, because he kind of just, like, hates himself, but... we'll get into all that, but it's sad that JP would, like... Jordan Peterson invited Dave Rubin on his podcast so that he could basically shit on him, but have somebody, like, agreeably let him shit on him. I think that's why anybody has Dave Rubin on their podcast. It's like, he's like, opens his mouth and says, please shit in my mouth. and then they proceed to shit in his mouth and let everybody watch.
Okay, open up, Dave.
Oh, let me sit down on that mouth of yours, and I'll take a healthy, meat-only diet shit right in your mouth. Because, I mean, that's what it is. It's like a home run. You know what I'm saying? He gets to have a guy on that's not going to fight him on shit. Because Dave Rubin is like a sackless fuck. And anytime there's any... he's not going to fight back.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He wants JP to like him too. He wants to be accepted by the Republicans and the highbrow ones, especially. Like
so he's like, oh yeah, and then, so he's like, oh, I'm one of the good ones. I'll tell you about the rest of the gays. Is that the angle he's playing?
That is exactly my first point right here at the top. Even shouldn't gay Republican Dave Rubin be everyone's hero? That's kind of what he thinks. He's like at a point where he's like at a loss for words. Oh, I don't understand. Like, I'm gay, so the lefties should like me, and I'm Republican. So naturally, the Republicans should like me. I should be the great unifier. I should be everyone's hero. He says it like that. Like, he thinks that everyone should like him because he's the nice guy, Dave Rubin, that's like both sides of the fence. You know what I'm saying? I mean, honestly, what it ends up doing is like an opposite effect. Like, nobody likes him. But, you know.
Maybe Jordan likes him.
I think Jordan likes to berate him and make him look like a dumb piece of shit. Let me see if we can
think something that you've learned and know and taught, and that you can hand that on to the next generation, and hopefully they can attain and retain some of that.
Permanence in your life too, right?
Yeah.
That multi-generation permanence.
Here you go.
Here
comes some
indefinitely into the future.
Good bits right
and part of what marriage does.
Is this an hour?
I think technically, it's the psychological equivalent of what sex does genetically. You know, if people mix gametes.
Yeah.
This was a good spot.
I'm a doctor, Ethan.
I remember this one specifically because he's just the core of like people that I dislike and dislike having conversations with, dislike listening to in general. Dislike having conversations with because I hate listening to their fucking bullshit. But he says that bit right there. Listen to this.
And hopefully they can attain and retain some of that.
Permanence in your life too, right?
Yeah.
That multi-generational permanence.
Multi-generational, blah, blah, blah.
People mix gametes.
Gametes. I didn't mean to do that.
Gay marriage.
You can kind of tell he didn't know how to. He didn't know. I don't think he even knows what that word is or how it's used, because he was just kind of throwing it out there until old Dave threw him a line and
he's like, oh yeah, I get what you're.
He's like, oh yeah, did I pronounce it the wrong way 3 times? Oh yeah, that's the word that I heard one time that I needed to borrow from someone else's argument.
But that was my whole thing. Like, he struggles to sound so intellectual and full of shit.
He's Michael Scott.
That he'll say, like, yeah, why are you even saying that? You don't even know how to say it, so why are you even fucking saying it?
He finds Dave Rubin to be very smudge and arrogant.
Yeah, smudge.
There's your smudgeness.
Variability, and to stop the propagation of parasites. That's why we don't clone, but there's that mixing as well.
That's why we don't clone. It's because of the parasites.
That deviations from genetic health are
right.
minimized.
Listen to this.
And so the same thing happens on the psychological front, I would say, is that each person has their own idiosyncrasies, and some of those lead them down the garden path to terrible places. But if you're with someone else and you have to negotiate with them constantly, then that opens up the possibility of you mutually modifying each other's personalities so that you both become healthier and that your joint existence.
Here he's talking about how parents, this is all devolving into the I just wanted to play some of it so you could hear basically how this conversation goes the entire time.
Yeah.
And this is blah 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 blah, self-inflating ego fucking bullshit. This is how it sounds the entire time. Now all of the good juicy bits I have documented, thankfully, but
good because this is fucking ass.
We can't sit here and listen to all that shit.
And not the good kind like you want.
This is the segment where I go through and give you quotes as close, or maybe I'm just giving you what they really mean. But most of them are quotes, most of them are half-ass quotes. Don't take my word for any of it, but this is pretty much what they're saying.
Paraphrase time with Danny.
Yeah, I like that. It's a lot of paraphrasing.
Not quite a quote, but it's what he wrote.
Yeah, there you go. Not quite a quote, but it is what I wrote. So starting with JP, here's some of his good bits.
No, I already had to hear about his grandma's good bits. Now I have to see his fucking good bits.
His grandma's tasty bits.
Oh, it's gonna get banned. Now we're gonna get banned from Twitch, and I'm gonna have to rent out a studio in a weird chair and do like a YouTube video about our Twitter ban.
I let her have her way. We'll do it in front of the black curtain.
She had
Susan Wojcicki, she grabbed her pubes and put them in my face. They smelled like mint. I let her have her way.
She wrapped them into a voodoo doll.
So, you want to hear some good JP quotes? Are you ready for this? Y'all ready for this?
That's an oxymoron.
So, starting with an excellent one. Gay people are in perpetual adolescence. I thought this one was particularly nice. Basically coming straight out. And this is like pretty orderly because I watched the episode and was making notes as I went through. So like a lot of this is basically how the episode will go if you watch. You can kind of parse these out in order. And yeah, he starts out with a banger. I mean, this is one of the early things he says. Gay people are in perpetual adolescence. He kind of explains it as they get to go out and they get to party and they get to spend money frivolously and they get to be flamboyant and wear pretty outfits and don't have to worry about anything and don't contribute to society because they don't have any responsibilities, because they don't have any offspring and can't make children. So they're perpetually adolescent. Thoughts?
What fucking year is it? Like that?
Yeah, he thinks it's like fucking... It is the way he kind of describes it, too. Like, it's like fucking... I don't even know. They're going out to the... Hey, we're going to the bars. Let's go watch a show.
Yeah. It's like an 80s to early 2000s era stereotype of a gay man. It's got nothing... Like, dude... First of all,
it really is.
He
thinks they're going
not
around
contributing to society
too,
shit is such bullshit. Like, so many of the jobs we have only exist for the sake of retail, and so, like, most of our jobs don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Mm-hmm. Like, we have that job because we need to have a job to make money, and jobs have been created, and we all buy a bunch of shit we don't need in order to perpetuate our economy. So I don't want to hear this shit about people aren't contributing to society. You could throw that stone at fucking anyone and everyone at this point. Yeah. And I mean, I do not know this brand of gay person that JP's talking about. I've had several colleagues that are at high places in companies, very responsible, not only for themselves, but for teams of people. And this idea that, because of someone's sexual preference and because of their hobbies or whatever they would do with their free time, that would make them an adolescent. Like, what about just a frat boy who just doesn't stop doing coke after college, and every Thursday through Saturday he just goes to a club and tries to fuck a 20-something? That sounds like perpetual adolescence, and I would also sounds like half of Jordan Peterson's base, probably. So I just, it's such a dumb stereotype that has no backing, like no scientific, there's no physical evidence to this whatsoever. It's just what Jordan Peterson daydreams about when he thinks about being gay. He wants to be able to wear those same suits and just go out to the gay bar all afternoon and buy drinks for pretty men.
Yeah,
and just be free. I just want to be carefree and not have the burden of my fake sexuality.
Like, I don't know this person. Honestly, like, the stereotypical, like, hey, like, that kind of thing that I think that Jordan, like, pretty much if you say a gay person, That's what he thinks. That it's somebody that's like, oh my God, let me show you my new outfit. Like that kind of fucking stereotypical thing.
Yeah, so he thinks
I don't
it's
even
an
know
Archer
this
skit.
person.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even know this exaggerated person that doesn't contribute to society or whatever, and blah, blah, blah. Like, these people are actually probably more positive towards society than you are. If you want to fucking point out a group of people that are fucking bad, that's another thing that, I guess, tangent, Dave Rubin fucking pushes back so hard when he says things like, are you part of the gay community? Or what does the gay community think about? And Dave Rubin's like, oh, I'm not part of the gay community. He's like, I don't find anything that they think or say. I don't share anything in common with them. I'm not part of the gay community. I'm an exception.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm a Republican. I don't subscribe to that. So every time, which it's kind of like reflective of other things too here, like when he did this Elliot Page shit where he refuses to say, he's always like Elliot, Ellen, her, him, like he won't adhere to pronouns that Elliot wants.
Yep.
Even in this situation, he won't adhere to even anything that Dave Rubin's saying about it. Dave Rubin's like, oh, I don't respect any of them. I don't consider myself a part of that community. And after this first engagement about it, where he says, like, I'm not a part of that.
What your butthole is, Dave?
JP will consistently say, like, well, what does the gay community... Oh, I said community.
Oh, sorry.
You're, being part of the gay community. Oh, I forgot you're not a part of the gay community. Like... He has such a one-track simpleton mind, he can't even grasp that.
Yeah. But also, I mean, they're both, Dave's an idiot. That's like me saying I'm not part of the white community because I love basketball and hip-hop.
Right, do you get to choose?
You don't get to choose. Like, if by being a gay man, you're part of the gay community, just like I'm part of the American society, even if I decide to go ahead and move to a cabin in the woods, I'm still living in America, dude. So I can claim to be a sovereign citizen and make, an ass out of myself in front of a judge. But the fact of the matter is I'm part of the community, whether I agree with what the community thinks or not. So it's a really stupid take of his to be like, oh, well, I'm not part of that community. Yes, you are. You can disagree with the rest of your community, but that's fine. But yeah, that's really dumb.
He wants to be this person, though. He wants to be like gay Jesus or something.
I'd watch that movie.
Because he wants to be like the exception to the rule. They struggle with him honestly saying explicitly that for this entire episode. Where he might as well come out and just say, like, look, I'm the good gay guy. I'm the good one. The rest of them, they kind of suck.
God's chosen
gay.
Know,
if you see somebody sucking dick, they probably suck in general. Any gay guy you meet sucks ass. But Dave Rubin, please listen to me. I'm the exception. I'm the scapegoat as well that you can fucking have on your show and talk shit about you and your person all together and then have them just be like, yeah. Dave's just like, yeah, You're right, JP, I suck.
I think that's why he keeps saying he's not part of that community, more so that way when JP says these things, he's telling himself that JP's not talking about him too.
Right, yeah. He has to do that.
Yeah.
Or else he wouldn't be able to get through the fucking interview.
He's like that hillbilly construction worker who's telling his black coworker, I'm not racist, but, blah, blah, blah. Your kind does this and that. Yada, yada. It sucks, man. I've had to be around people like that before in my life. It's disgusting. It sounds like that's a lot of what was happening here. Yeah, you said he's... DR is out there just he's the sacrificial lamb, so to speak. Just go out there, take one for the team. I'm allowed to say these things. It's like, again, maybe to pull again from the racial side, it's like that dude who says, I'm not racist, I have a black friend. Mm-hmm. And then goes on to say all kinds of horrible things that they think I'm not racist because I like one person of a race, and then I'll say all these general evil things about them. But
he's like the Candace
I can't be a bigot.
Right.
I'm glad that you said it. I was going to say that earlier when you were describing what Dave. I was like, oh, so it's like bringing Candace Owens on to talk about race relations. Okay, this makes sense to me now.
It's like, here's one that agrees with me.
Yeah. You gotta have your one, because it's what they're trying to do in the margins, with grabbing voters. It's like, all right, well, if we can have at least one gay one, if we can have a couple of black people on our side, that we can try to draw a few more voters over. Make no mistake, that sounds cold, it sounds disgusting, and you're right to hear me say that and wince a little bit, but that's the fucking reality of it, man. And don't kid yourself into thinking it's ever about anything else.
Well, I'm
it's
wondering
just a game that's being played.
If this is what he's gonna do, like his shtick, because this podcast on the Daily Wire thing is a newer thing for him. It's a new endeavor, for him. So I'm wondering if what he's going to do going forward is like use the podcast to band-aid his public image of his shit takes, because this seems like very
it's on the Daily Wire, but
timely. I don't know. It seems like a very timely. He just said all this shit about Elliot Page and blah blah blah, and then he has Dave Rubin on his podcast where they talk about how he basically talks shit about gays and says that gay people, are suboptimal. That's what he says the whole time. So it's like almost
subhuman, essentially.
I don't know. He's like, look, Elliot Page is one thing, that's one thing, but I can accept, I can accept if you're like gay light. If you're like LGBT light, like barely, like Dave Rubin, I can wince and I can pucker my butthole and I can deal with it.
I won't use the same restroom as you, but...
Right, exactly. I won't go in at the same time as you, but...
I'll let you sit at the dinner table.
You can sit and huff my warm farts after I go. Elliot Page in the Ellen Page... Was it Ellen?
It's
before?
Elliot. Yeah, it was Ellen before.
That's what I was referencing. I can't remember now, honestly. I just think of Elliot Page now, which is weird because it doesn't really snap like that for me very often, but with Elliot Page it has. Anyways, I just think that it's weird, the timing there. Oh, I can deal with gay light, but if it's trans stuff, nah, we won't accept that. Anyways, let's go forward with some more of these quotes.
Yeah, I'm sure the gay light stuff will get rolled back.
Well, it's like, look at all these. The Daily Wire is really becoming like the, it's not quite like, I don't know, what's a superhero villain squad that's really, what's a big villain squad?
The Legion of Doom.
The Legion of Doom was the B one that I was gonna say, because these are like the Legion of Doom. Like, what's a Marvel team up of bad guys?
The Thunderbolts, but they're also a B squad. I don't know. See, that's the thing. If there's a team of bad guys, it's a B squad. That's the thing, because a true villain is not gonna be in a team. Like the real big baddies, like Thanos doesn't run with a group.
Interesting.
Like if you're a squad of villains by default, you're peak beta.
I like that.
There are no alphas out here that they might have a couple of henchmen, but they don't have a name. It's not Thanos and the Funky Bunch. It's not Galactus and friends. It's, I am Thanos. I've got these little homies that do what I say, but we're not partners. It's like Heisenberg. The end, when the meth heads bring out old Jesse, and he's like 50-50 partner.
Yeah.
Hell of a partner. That's what a real shithead alpha does. I'm not going to give that character any compliments.
There you go.
That's what I'm saying. So just by default, what I'm getting at, if you haven't unpacked it, Daily Wire fans, is what I'm saying is you're always B squad when you're running. If you got that many players on the squad, then...
Yeah, so there's my analogy.
Yeah,
That's what I was going for. That's what I was going for, though. It's like, they really are rallying together quite the team. When you're talking Ben Shapiro, and then Candace Owens has a show on it, and then now JP has a podcast.
Did they get what's her?
And they've got that fucking bearded
forearms
Who's
from
the bearded dude?
Star Wars.
Oh, Gina Carano.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know. Yeah, I think she's on their show or something. Like television show.
I thought that they reached out to her immediately after she got fired, but I don't know if that turned into anything. I'll be honest with you, I do not.
Shit kickers.
The day it gets assigned through the news desk is the day I'll learn about fucking the Daily Wire. But yeah, they are grabbing one. Who else?
Well, like I said, yeah, Ben Shapiro, JP, and Candace Owens is the good start. And then they have that Beardo that has his own podcast too, but he's like the real conservative one. What's his fucking name?
I have no idea.
Daily... Was it Daily Wire?
Yeah. Did they get Tim Pool yet?
No.
He's still independent?
He's independent. He'll never go. But yeah, look, Jordan Peterson comes up on their thing now. That's how fucking... That's how important he is now. It says it right at the top.
Daily Wire Plus. I'm surprised. I really thought Disney was going to get the copyright of doing the Plus thing.
I didn't know that he has a PragerU podcast too.
Oh,
so
dude,
you've got...
I'm sure Prager's funding half this, dude.
You've got Ben, Candace. So Candace, this is her podcast.
Daily Wire Kids, dude. That's disgusting.
Yeah, they have a whole line of kid shows.
I don't care. Yeah.
So your kids can watch too. But.
And if it was fucking Marxist kids, I'd be just as fucking disgusting. So everyone calm your tits. The idea of, embedding political ideology into children is pretty gross. Like while their brains aren't developed enough to completely understand that, you're not giving.
Grooming?
Yes.
Are you saying that it's grooming?
Yes.
Grooming,
it is.
like,
and it should be
preparing
frowned upon.
The children to do something that you want them to do, coercing them.
Yes, regardless of the position, I frown upon it. I think it's disgusting. To anything outside of the golden rule and sharing and basic child development should not leave that shit alone. Don't be fucking pumping your political or religious ideologies down your children's throat before they're too old to understand any better and make that decision for themselves. That's disgusting, and shame on you if you do it. And I don't care how you feel about it. Do better.
But look, they've got everything really though now. Like he's really gearing up. Ben Shapiro is gearing up to have like a network essentially, because it's his show. Then he's got like the Oprah equivalent, which is Candace Owens' show. You got Matt. It's this dude, Matt Walsh.
Matt, not Cody Johnston.
Matt Walsh is his name. Yes, Matt, not Cody Johnston. And I think this is his podcast. What is a woman?
What is a woman? Which I'm sure Ben Shapiro is a frequent guest because, as far as I know, he still has a lot to learn about the female anatomy. And,
wet ass P word.
Yeah.
This guy I don't even know, Michael Knowles, but he's obviously an important one for him. JP, they got Dennis Prager here.
The master's program at Prager.
All of their shows and podcasts. You got JP starting on there. You've got movies. So they have. I mean, can you guess what these shows are about? Run, Hide, Fight.
Terror on the Prairie.
Shut In, the Hyperions, which this is like their comedy or something.
Oh, God.
I don't know, dude. PragerU, so they've got a whole educational videos to teach you how you should think about every single thing. And then you can even start your kids on it before they get to that.
What does it say under the kids' content? I'd like to read what this is
Coming
called.
soon, we're creating kids' entertainment parents can trust with $100 million investment into shows that help young minds flourish. No divisive narratives. No insidious ideologies. Just safe, fun programming the whole family will love. Hop on in. With their quirky characters like...
What's the price?
Mr. Fucklebutts and Mr. Jerky Worky.
I love how Insider Plus, even when it's not redacted, is cheaper than Insider.
Wait.
Oh, if billed annually, I see. That's how they got it. I was like, you guys didn't pay much attention to this.
I don't even care.
But I mean, that's ridiculous. The idea that someone would pay $15 a month, or 12, or 8 a month at a yearly clip. Yeah. Jesus.
Bruh. Don't you want your daily Candace Owens material?
You can get it for free. It's all, I'm sure it's on YouTube if you really need to be spoon-fed what to think all day.
What kind of like hurts my brain, like squeezes on it a bit when I think about it every time is like somebody is watching Candace Owens like Ellen. Like they were like Ellen. Like, oh, who's Ellen gonna have on today? And they're like, what's Candace Owens going to teach me about fucking black people today? Yeah. That they deserve to be slaves or something fucked up that she would say.
No, now careful, because they're not going to be using that word soon. I don't know if you heard about this, but
Candace Owens declared?
No. There was legislation, I believe it came out of Texas, that was proposed that all school books would change the term slavery into something like a mandatory relocation or something. Basically, they were going to soften it. Yeah.
Sugarcoat it a little bit. And slaves is like...
disgusting.
That's really harsh. Okay? Slaves, like, there might have been slaves. Somebody might have did slaves, you know. Like, in another country, they might have did slaves. But here... we didn't do slaves. Like we're cultured, okay? We're America. We didn't do slaves. We did
indentured servants.
Indentured servants. No, that's too much. What were you saying? What was the first one you said?
It was like a mandatory relocation.
Mandatory relocation. The government is just...
with an extensive re-education
mandatory
program.
Relocating and extensively re-educating. Okay? And permanently fielding. And
we're gonna have to hit the
barely feeding. Okay? So, there you go. That is wild. I had not heard that. Changing the... I mean, yeah. That's what they're all about. Which is such a weird thing. I really don't understand. I guess this is like the... bear with me. I'm about to get real lefty with it. This is like...
bathroom break.
This is like the best equivalent to saying... oh, they're like Nazis. Because if... and let me break that down a little bit, okay? I won't just say Republicans are like Nazis without, backing it up a little bit. So here we go. The reason why I say that is because if it was just as easy as to say, oh, it's Republicans and they're saying their shit, and they don't like black people, and they don't like, this and that. They don't like gay people. They don't like trans stuff. They don't like any of that. They just like white American people. That's it. No immigrants, no Mexicans, nothing. White Americans. And then like right below that is like other white people. But I would hesitate to say the Republican Party is going to be like Nazis, fascists, whatever the fuck you want to say. How can you argue it any other way when one of the defining characteristics of something like that is going back and changing the books and the history and like book burnings was a thing, and like trying to alter prior history, you know, that's where it gets real fashy Nazi craziness. Because if they were just saying, you know, that they hated gay people and they don't think that schools should be, they think schools should be segregated and think black people shouldn't be with everybody else or Mexicans or anything else, you know, they can say all that stuff and that's fine. That's just the Republican way. That's what we're used to. But when they go back and like they want to change and edit what's already there, that's where it starts to get crazy. If they were just saying the dumb shit, it would be like that would be any other thing. You know what I mean? I feel like they say they talk their shit. They want to say anything that'll trigger us all the time. And they do that. And they've always done that. But now that they're going back and trying to attack what the kids learn, and like you can't learn these things, and we're taking these out of the history books and we're removing these words and blah blah blah. It's like, what are you trying? And here's religion. We can teach you religion again now. We also, you know, slid that bill in there. So now I can tell you religious shit if I want to. So, yeah. What else are you doing? It seems you're being sneaky, enacting these weird little sneaky bills so that you can start your little fascist regime and fucking change how America works. Fundamentally, we don't do slaves. That never happened. Like, it's fucked up.
It is nuts. And
it's starting to get crazy.
And I'm anti-censorship of virtually all kinds, and for lots of reasons. But it's interesting to see the hypocrisy of, oh man, the owners of a company can't decide that they don't want to publish an old book that had racist stereotypes on it anymore. That's being soft. That's being a snowflake. That censorship is bad. But also, let's change the official term from slavery for our school children so that they don't have to grow up
So
hearing.
what about the
So
Bible?
who's really the fucking snowflake, my guy?
What about the Bible?
You too soft to learn about your grandpappy being a fucking slave owner? Deal with it. It's disgusting. It's horrible. It's a real part of our heritage. We have to deal with it. And what about, what about the
That's
Bible?
what I really wonder. Are they altering the Bible? Because the Bible says plenty.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Well, right, yeah, we're gonna have new Testament, new Testament. But
a different King version, the King James version, because King James was around
LeBron James
when Jesus
Bible.
was. You fucking idiots, man! You're so fucking stupid.
Let's.
These were fingers, by the way. I didn't lift my thumb up. It was a. Don't.
Loser.
Don't. Whatever. I don't want to end up in a home.
You're gonna end up at home. I'll make sure of that.
Yeah, I know.
Anyways, let's get through some more of these quotes because we really got hung up on the whole perpetual adolescence of it all. I mean, God forbid he say something like that. That's only the tip of the iceberg. The next good quote, and they have an extended conversation about this. 1 year of breast milk equals 5 IQ points, I guess, which also equals 1 year of learning for a child.
And I would know because my mother fed me only formula, Ethan.
My grandmother, she forced her pubes on my face and then shot her old dusty titty milk into my mouth. That started my love for breast milk that I still drink to this day. Breast milk is vegan.
Oh, can I get a classy video edit of JP in the place of Homelander when he's milking those cows?
I mean, that is pretty much.
Yesterday.
He does have a Homelander crisis on him. He's like Homelander syndrome.
Gulp down a bucket of that straight cow milk, baby.
But
that might give you an IQ point, JP. Give that a try.
Like this whole conversation about the breast milk thing.
Breast milk.
I don't know, but I just think it's interesting how he breaks it down to such simple math, like it's something like that. I just refuse to believe that 1 year of breast milk for a child equals 5 whole IQ points, and that's equivalent to if you taught your child things for a whole year. So That's how much IQ. Like, maybe there is something to the whole vitamins and blah, blah, blah of it all. You can't tell me that it breaks down to 5 IQ points, which equals 1 year of learning or whatever. Shut the fuck up. It's all bullshit gobbledygook you make up to prop up all of your bullshit ideas. You make up these bullshit points and then make up even more bullshit evidence for it all. None of it's real.
Yeah.
You make your argument sound better when you just tack on these whole like qualifiers. 1 whole year of learning, like, says who? You, Mr. Social Scientist? What the fuck ever.
Per sources.
Stupid, but we'll loop in a Dave Rubin quote here while we're at it, because when he says this and they're talking about the breast milk, Dave Rubin comes in and says, I have 2 industrial freezers full of breast milk in my basement. Which is like...
Weird flex, bro!
He tries so hard. This is to do with all this. He tries so hard to convince Jordan Peterson that, like...
That he's
because
not
Jordan
circular.
Peterson's whole thing, and this is even his next little quote, ensure the nuclear family. Jordan Peterson's almost whole argument all the time is like, they need a nuclear family. Children do. A mom and a dad, and that's the best way, and anything else is a compromise. Or a suboptimal, he says a lot. So, like, gay parents are suboptimal, no matter what. But Dave Rubin tries to argue the fact that, like, look, I've got 2 industrial freezers full of titty milk. We've been learning about skin-to-skin contact for our children. And, we have 1 of each, so it's 1 child is my sperm and 1 child is his sperm. So we're being, equal there. They both are getting a little bit of both of us. And he tries really hard. He tries really hard to qualify everything he says so that Jordan Peterson will accept him. I mean, he really does. And he'll go to the extent to betray his entire, like, the gay community that he is not a part of. He's not a part of the gay.
No. I'm not a part of the bald community.
Me either. I refuse to believe that. I have hair. It's just not all there.
Yeah. I don't agree with people being bald.
See ya? So can homosexuals even be father figures? Which I thought was a very base take by him. I would have figured he would have went with the obvious and been like, can gay people be motherly figures? Because they literally have penises, like men. Or other way around, if there's 2 women, they don't have... They have 2 vaginas, so,
Yeah,
I thought he was going to make that
could
simple
make
argument.
sense. Like, with 2 lesbian parents, who's going to be the father figure? That is a question that could almost make sense. But yeah, you're like...
Or 2 gay people, who's going to be the... 2 gay guys, who's going to be the motherly.
Exactly.
That would be the obvious argument. Wrong, still. I don't think that that's a right argument. I think that 2 moms or 2 dads or whatever, or 3 dads or 2 sisters can be a parent.
Yeah, you can at least make an argument for why someone would ask that question.
But, yeah.
Still would be, I think, incorrect to... Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. But he goes, can homosexuals be father figures? Because his argument is, gay people are so feminine, so, oh my gosh. Oh, I broke a nail. Oh, I hurt my ankle. Oh, that kind of stereotypical femininity. He thinks that so much. Every gay person in his head rings that to him. That he actually went the other way. And was like, can they even be dads? I mean, you just are so gay. How could you teach your kid football?
Yeah, now these might not necessarily have been dads, but they certainly were father figures to a lot of children. When I think of the beacons of masculinity that were the legends such as Mr. Rogers or one Bob Ross over here,
Bobby.
Just nothing but just full-on testosterone bleeding through the television every Saturday morning to teach the young kids about the things that they needed to learn. So yeah, of course, it makes perfect sense. In no reasonable or rational way could a gay person ever be a father figure because they don't play football or, I mean, what is even a stereotype? Like what do gay dudes do that you can't be a dad about? It makes no sense. What about them makes them incapable of being a father figure? Does he think that like gay dudes stay in shape? They don't exercise. They don't know how to eat right.
They're sucking so much dick they don't have any time to do anything.
There's probably more.
Women are supposed to be sucking dick while the men do the real work, but they're just sucking each other's dick, so nobody gets anything done.
I would argue, a gay couple of current parenting age had to deal with a world that wasn't quite as open to them being gay. So if anything, certain regular, like run-of-the-mill, easy adulting stuff, they probably had a more difficult experience with it, and therefore maybe even better teachers than just the run-of-the-mill two white parents who were both from suburbia who never really faced any problems. You could make and that's the thing, that's the whole driving point. Every single one of these situations is going to be circumstantial and based on the two adults that are involved and what they're bringing to the table. You can't even make these blanket statements, and it's so dumb and honestly irritating to have to even justify these stupid quotes with counterpoints, because these are thoughts that shouldn't even exist in people's heads because they're so fucking stupid and easy to sort out for yourself. Like, you shouldn't have to discuss this with people to get through.
He thinks about it so much, though. This
too
might
much.
Be
that's
simple
why.
For you, but he thinks about this so much. He's talked about it so much. So he's like an expert.
So much.
So that's why you should take his opinion correctly. Okay? Can homosexuals be father figures? Heterosexuality is the divine ideal.
Hey, here we go again. Yes, because your fucking made-up God decided it, the rest of us have to abide. So your fucking babysitter's fairy tale decides what the ideal for the universe is. Sorry, I kind of cut you off there, but I'm sick and fucking tired of hearing that a certain group of people's God thinks it should be one way, and that has any bearing on these very real and rational and fucking tangible problems.
Here,
I hate it so much.
I'm going to platform somebody right now because I want to. I'm going to play you a clip.
Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha.
The lady from...
I was going to say, I probably just sounded a little bit like it. I feel like I've heard her say it so much.
So listen to this and tell me what you think.
Oh.
And I'm going to play the whole minute straight through. And this is how I agree with this so much. And flex on fucking... The Young Turks are great. If you're ever fucking wanting some lefty media, they're a great source of it. I mean, I don't particularly watch them very often, but I mean, this speech here should show you itself that they're thoughtful and smart people. They're over there, so listen to this.
These comments might be strong, but it's how I genuinely feel. I don't care that you're a Christian. I don't care what the Bible says. Like, I feel like it's a clown show, like sitting here trying to decipher what your little mythical book has to say about these very real political issues, right? I don't care if you're Christian. In fact, I will fight for you to have your religious liberty and practice your Christianity. I believe in that. I don't believe in Christianity, which means that you do not get to dictate the way I live my life based on your religion. I don't care what the Bible says. You have every right in the world. All those women who identify with your religion have every right in the world to not get an abortion, to not take birth control. But they do not have the right to dictate my life and what I decide to do with my body. I don't care about your goddamn religion. I'm so tired of having non-stop conversations about what the Bible says. You live your life in the way that you interpret the Bible. Again, I don't care. But you don't get to take the Bible and tell me, well, the Bible says this in this chapter in this verse. I don't care. I don't care. I don't believe in it. And I have the right, based on our Constitution, to not believe in it.
Boom.
That's the part. It drives me nuts. I get so angry. I hear these fucking turd suckers call it a Christian nation. No, the country was founded in the opposition of religious oppression, for religious freedom. Yes, it happens that it was a Christian religion that was seeking refuge, but that was not, okay, well, everyone's Christian. It's not fucking a free place only for the Christian religions. It's supposed to be the freedom for all religion. You dumb fucking bastards, and I'm so fucking tired of having to re-explain that to you.
It's weird because they constantly want to reference, Republicans, I need to just say it. Republicans suck ass. Republicans want to constantly...
I'm saying Christians, but go on.
Again, Christians, whatever. They all suck. Both of them. They want to, like, reference this... Well, first off, if you're talking Christians, they want to reference the Bible, which is like some ancient text. But I'm talking about Republicans want to reference the fucking... the founders and what they said and what they intended and blah, 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 blah all the time. And that shit just doesn't fly. It doesn't fucking make any fucking sense anymore. Okay? But if that's your MO, and if that's what you want to roll with, and if that's what you think, then what happened to this whole religious thing? Did you forget about that? Did you forget that the country was literally founded because we were seeking religious refuge? No more religious persecution, freedom of religion, and separation of religion from state. Coming here, that's the intention of the whole thing. So, don't forget that when you keep saying Christian nation and Christians want this done and the Bible says this. Christians. I don't give a fuck, okay? That was the whole point. Is this going to be the whole thing again? Really what I think that America should do is instead of like a mass exodus, like we leave and go somewhere else, I think we should just fucking pop it like a giant ass zit and all these fucking shitty ass Republicans, eject them, send them to Mars with Elon, okay? Like, I'm fucking sick of it. I just don't, it's just so apparent how none of them are thoughtful about anything anymore. That they don't think about their own reasoning. If your whole reasoning is I get my guns because the fucking nation intended it. It says it in the fucking documents, man. The Second Amendment, brr. Well, yes. Okay. Maybe. Depends on how you interpret it. But you can't fucking deny that it was all started because we were leaving for this fucking religious freedom shit. Okay? We were leaving another place to seek religious freedom. And now you want to do this all over again. This whole dance all over again. It doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, love the Constitution when it's on your side, but you forget about founding fathers like Thomas Jefferson when religion is involved and how Christianity was to bear no influence on that government.
In God we trust, bro.
Bunch of tit
on
dirt.
Every single piece of fucking legal tender, bro.
If anything, they were Freemasons.
Yeah,
that's a different day.
I wanted to
today.
end a little JP because I didn't really get like an actual quote, but this is basically what he was hinting at. He starts talking about flamboyant gay people and blah blah blah, and he says essentially that gay people are flamboyant because they aren't shown the traditional path of like this. Basically, you become a flamboyant gay male because nobody was like, dad wasn't like, this is what you need to do. Lift weights, play football, man. Eat meat.
Yeah.
So, you're flamboyant because you weren't shown the traditional path, and this is also why the promiscuity is associated with gay people all the time.
Sure.
They're nasty, promiscuous girls and gays, wherever you are. I'm all alone and Timberland wants to fuck. Whatever, this idea was one of the most ridiculous ideas that he had, and I had to fucking put it in here.
Yeah, that's absurd. I mean, first of all, I mean, it's just in human nature to be promiscuity is part of the game. It's not for everyone, but fuck, I mean, it happens. I mean, straight men are promiscuous, straight women are promiscuous.
Well, he wants to
if
equate
anything,
that, like,
you can equate it to like an age, but yeah, there's not. It's not.
He wants to say gay people fuck each other, and that's it. Like, gay people are just rampantly fucking each other. But
It's ridiculous.
I would even more so accept if he just said guys like to fuck.
But even then, that wouldn't be true because even
exactly,
then, like,
I agree.
That's just not true.
But I would push back less if it was a reason like that, like, oh, disgusting men, all they want to do is be dogs and fuck. I mean, I've heard that argument made over and over again my whole life, you know. That's, I mean, and there's some validity to that, but he wants to seed it even more to, like, gay people are flamboyant, hey, and because they weren't shown what you should actually do. Dad and mom didn't say, this is what a man does.
Dude, how many gay people came from Christian parents that sent them to pray away the gay camps? Like, that's bullshit. Like, I hate, it's this dipshittery, this douchebaggery of anecdotal evidence that really can only be fought with other anecdotal evidence, which is just a waste of everyone's fucking time. Everyone has a story. It's dumb. Show me the math that says that you have data that suggests that gay people have this many extra partners during this range, and I still will fucking not believe you. So go waste your time and find me a graph, Jordan, and go do something, because you're just a distraction to productive people of the world, and you're wasting my time now, and stop it. I don't want you to waste any more of my fucking time.
I forgot to tweet.
We've been live. We'll be live for another 15 minutes. At least we get to see the Minions bit. That's nice. I like it. I don't like any of this Jordan P.
Oh, I thought you were going to go in on
Dave
Minions
Rube.
because I was here for it.
No, I don't know anything about that. I haven't had any reason to watch a
Minions are
movie.
like super.
I don't have kids or anything.
I think Minions are like a super popular thing because of, and partly to Japan. It's weird they became like, because a big trend in Japan is to like be, you know, have you ever heard the term weeb? Like a weeb is like somebody in America that's like really obsessed with Japan. Well, I guess the very common thing in Japan is to be obsessed with America. So the Minions are kind of part of that for them. Like they've seen the Minions from here, and then they're like, that character.
So it's like their like Hello Kitty deal kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
They've really gotten carried away with it too. There's a lot of Minion shit in Japan. I think that's why that's sticking around. I hate Minions. Little yellow Tic Tacs.
It's pretty dumb.
Well, I mean,
I did love the Office thing. Just knowing that like the Gru character is Michael Scott. So seeing that, I mean, I'm a huge Office fan.
I've heard
probably
that's
gonna
funny.
catch some more super fan episodes this evening. So yeah, that one got me in the member boner. So
there you go. Well, let's hear some Dave Rubin quotes now that we're at it. We've already heard the "I have 2 industrial freezers full of breast milk in my basement" quote. The next one is West Hollywood is the gayest place on earth. Now,
that's probably true, right?
I don't know the truth to that. I mean, I've never been myself, but I've always heard this. So good on you, good Dave Rubin.
Who cares?
It's just funny he had to like make a point of it. He's like, it's like, I used to live in West Hollywood, and West Hollywood is like the gayest place you could ever be. I mean, rainbows everywhere, the streets are painted. Oh my God, he says it like that.
You won't believe it, Jordan. They're letting them buy houses now. They can even buy them in rich people neighborhoods. Why didn't anyone tell me gay people were allowed to be talented? I can't believe this. How do they earn enough money to live in Hollywood? Oh my God. What news?
The next one, he talks about Jordan Peterson helped me become myself.
Gay! gay.
Which is interesting.
Super gay.
I think the parts that he's referencing, he was already... This is what I don't understand. I don't know. He went on tour with Jordan Peterson at one point. So Jordan Peterson had a book tour, and he had Dave Rubin go on it and like talk as like his Republican dude, or just a dude, to talk about that kind of shit, and to talk with him. Well, I guess on that tour, JP helped Dave Rubin become his true self. And I guess he felt comfortable with being gay. Now, I don't know if he meant... I don't know if he was really out before this or not, or if he was just out and not comfortable with himself, but JP helped him come to his comfortability. But I find it a little sussy that his experience with Jordan on Jordan's book tour helped him realize and self-actualize him, you know? He became his real, true gay self after going on tour with JP. Thoughts?
I never really cared until I met you.
Like something like...
And now it chills me to the bone.
I mean, I really think...
JP, I'll get you alone. Go ahead.
No. No.
That's all I've got to say about that. Cue the heart, baby.
I really
That's
think,
all that happened.
Yeah, I think that, like, maybe... Would I be going a little too far to say maybe, you know, JP and Dave Rubin, there might have been a little sucky, fucky action?
JP gives me that dad in American Beauty, like, the reason I hate gayness is because of the impure thoughts I have, and my overbearing father tried to spank the gay out of me, and I can control my gay 80%
But he has a daughter, and he's been married.
That's what I'm just saying. I can control my gay 80% of the time thanks to the power of prayer and my
He's been on Joe Rogan.
Remembering
Can he be gay?
My dad's lashings. I mean, I'm sure Joe Rogan will do ayahuasca with anyone. I don't think Joe Rogan's anti-gay. I think he probably...
You're pro Joe Rogan?
I'm not pro Joe Rogan, but I don't think he's ever said anything that would make me believe he's anti-gay.
I'm
he's... I mean...
But that's his logic, you know? He's like, oh, I'm so manly.
Well, sure.
I'm the man. Let me tell you, Dave Rubin. I'm the man. What are we going to do without real strong men like me, Dave, okay? You need straight, super straight men. And Dave Rubin really tries to lean into with that. He like tries to agree.
I'm like the straightest gay dude ever.
That's
like,
what he says.
Anybody, dude, that's my bros, dude. I'm so fucking.
They have
straight.
a whole conversation for real where he's like.
The only gay thing about me is my sexual preference.
They seriously have a whole conversation where he's like, my husband is super flamboyant, he's the mom, he's gay, he's reading all the books about the shit. I just fuck him in the ass.
He's Barbie.
That's all I do. I'm super straight. I'm not flamboyant. He says something to the effect of like, I'm super straight. I'm super straight. That's why gay people like me. Because
I'm actually really
they
straight.
thought that I was straight. And that's why the gay people like me. He says something, he goes on about it too, like, I liked super flamboyant gay people when I was first, you know, realizing that I was gay. Because I felt like they were their true self. That's what he's saying. Like, they were really out there with their, you know, with their shit. I really admired that, blah, blah, blah. Which is hilarious now because he's definitely being his true self.
Is he?
Look, that's what I mean. He's like a closeted... He's still like a closeted gay man.
I'm wondering...
Except he just gets to talk shit about gay people.
My Arrested Development fans and friends out there can maybe think along with me. I'm wondering if we don't have ourselves a Tony Wonder situation going on.
Who's this? Like somebody that... What? Explain this.
Ben Stiller's character in Arrested Development,
Okay.
Tony Wonder, a famous fake gay.
Interesting.
Just like in the
That's what I
Arrested,
thought you were going.
in the Arrested Development universe, Doogie Howser, what's his name? What's the actor's name? Fucking
Barney
Barney.
Stinson, Neil
Neil Patrick Harris in the Arrested Development universe is a fake gay, according to Tony Wonder. Biggest fake gay in the book. Bangs chicks all the time. So yeah, there's this whole. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's this whole storyline between Job Bluth and there's this whole. I'm not just go ahead.
Let me stop you immediately. Have you seen this, dude?
I have no idea.
You got me on the tangent. And I'm sorry to cut you off, but it's important, I'm telling you. Have you seen?
Nope.
Try to make me go to rehab.
What?
Neil Patrick Harris, for Halloween, after Amy Winehouse fucking died the same year, had the corpse of Amy Winehouse meat platter at his fucking party. This is it. Somebody took a picture of it. This is a meat platter. This is like, you can eat this.
How did that just come out now? It looks like that guy tweeted about it when it happened. What? How did that get buried? Have I not heard about this before?
I think it was just like, back then, he wasn't gonna get immediately canceled for it. It just wasn't maybe like cancelable. It didn't happen like that, you know? It's only been recently where it's been like, they find something from you online and then you're immediately canceled.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Twitter was...
So this was like a little prior.
Wow.
And people found...
Damn,
dug it back up.
Dude. Wow.
The same year she died, dude. I can't believe it either. And like, I always thought Neil Patrick Harris was like, I don't know, he just came off to me as like a sensible guy.
Man, I don't ever play that game anymore.
Yeah, right.
No one who's famous, do yourself a favor. Don't assume that a famous person's a good person, because they're probably not. I saw the short. I saw a short up on the YouTube screen that maybe we should pop up, because I'd kind of forgotten all about it.
Skhreli?
It's not that one, but it's one. It reminded me of the one. You know the one. The same Skhreli short, but it's a different.
Oh yeah,
it's a different short. It's not that short.
Let's just say that we're done talking about Dave Rubin and JP, and let's segue right into the next fucking bit with Martin Skhreli, because yeah, those do have a lot to do with each other. This one's the one you're talking about.
Yes. So you might have a hard time hearing it because
he's a fucking weirdo.
Clearly, Martin, one of the skills he lacks is video production.
Oh. Can we go live watching his live?
Is he live right now? Still?
Martin Skhreli is a son of a bitch.
Let's do it. Why not? I mean,
here's what I found.
You're all right. Never mind that.
Is that your Google response? Hey, Martin Skhreli. Martin Skhreli? Tell me how quick I get to McDonald's from here.
Yeah. I made it my wrist, bitch.
He's live. What up, Skhreli?
Must have spelled Bosnia incorrectly earlier.
Yeah, you definitely spelled
I
Bosnia.
definitely want to see this dude's OnlyFans, man. Yeah, it's gross. He's back. He's doing AMAs like every day. He's been back for like a month, just doing Google or doing Twitter voice AMAs, doing Reddit AMAs. It's basically just a bunch of crypto bros and day traders trying to get advice from him.
Yeah, let me know about Skhreli.
I mean, there's really nothing much to know. I mean, I really expected to go into these AMAs and see like people dogging on him or like there to be funny content, and it's really just not there. You can see the very first, I think the top comment is a great one. It just says, "Do you still have that yee ass haircut?" And that's funny. But I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's
yee ass haircut.
He just has a bunch of crypto bros and stock market bros that are asking him for advice. And I mean, if anything, just if you're judged based on the company you keep, holy fuck, man, there are some duds. You go listen to these Twitter spaces there are some real fucking psychopaths asking him for advice. The kind of people that you just hope don't get anywhere near an ounce of power. And I honestly, the one guy, I hope he gets some actual help, because he's a danger to others. But yeah, I mean, whatever. This guy's a scrub, and he didn't really go to jail for the thing that was worst about him, which was the jacking up of medicine prices. So I don't know. I was really hoping to see hellfire and brimstone, and it's just been really flat. It's just a bunch of people who like Martin asking him questions.
I thought it would be way. It seems very anticlimactic for what I expected to be like some sort of spectacle.
Yeah, no, I mean, there were people in there, like some people, that's the thing, because it's Reddit, like there were people whose comment were literally, what did he do? And then people would have to explain the jacking up of the price, and then have to explain that wasn't even what he was arrested for, that he was arrested for something completely unrelated. Yeah, and fraud. He was found innocent, I think, on 5 out of the 8 charges, but like that doesn't really. I mean, whatever. It sounds like he's saying all the right things in these AMAs. He's trying to give people advice to check their ego and not be so focused on success that they turn into a shitbag. So it sounds like he's learned his lesson, but I just hope he doesn't get anywhere near money or relevance ever again, because everyone deserves a second chance, but not at that platform. I don't think. Yeah, go ahead. You have a second chance at life now. Please don't hurt any more innocent people. And
well, I mean, like, here's your opportunity then, you fucking douchebag. Like, use your money and your influence and your fucking pharma bro bullshit and make it right if you're not what people say you are. Either you're a fucking skid mark on society and you deserve to be in jail, or you can turn it around and maybe not fucking sell medicine that people need for fucking direly to live for an exorbitant amount of money. You're just a fuck. Either you are or you aren't. So prove it. Whatever, you fucking loser.
For those who don't know, the price went, and I can't remember the name of the pill. You can look that part up yourself. But it was used to treat malaria. Yeah. And it went from $13.50 a pill to $750 a pill, thanks to Mr.
Overnight.
Skhreli. So,
excellent.
If you don't know, and
now you know,
yeah, you're wanting to just completely write this guy off and just take him as some nice guy who was given a bad deal. I don't know the details of his case. Maybe he was wrongfully imprisoned. I honestly, he should have been imprisoned for price gouging. I don't know the legality of, but what he did was criminal in its impact against the other people of the world.
Be imprisoned for just being a menace to society, bitch. But anyways, let me show you the other Skhreli, the chubbiest Skhreli. Tell me if this guy, and this isn't my idea and my pickup, I can't take credit for it, so we'll let H3 explain right here for you.
So fucked up to include them in this shit fest.
Can I have a caramel frappuccino instead, please? I didn't like this one.
This almost empty drink?
I didn't.
What you're talking about?
Well, I didn't like it, you know?
This guy is one bad cappuccino away from shooting up a Starbucks. You know what I mean?
I can see that.
Not to mention that he looks like Martin Skhreli fucked his overweight sister and he's their child. Like, to make matters worse. This guy is channeling Martin Skhreli. He may be the most hated man in America.
Didn't like the other 22 ounces of it?
No.
So we need to make you a frappuccino?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's cute. Okay.
Please.
Dude, that woman's a hero, by the way. Give her a medal. How do you endure this shit, dude?
Who's worse, Martin Skhreli or Chubby Skhreli?
Martin Skhreli.
I like that. He is. Agreed. Because Chubby Skhreli is really just
a troll.
Bugging. He's trolling people at Starbucks. And Martin Skhreli is making a medicine that costs like, relatively like a $10 bill, a 10 spot, to making it like 1,000 spot. And it's worse than that. I'm just simplifying the numbers. So there you go.
Not even close.
Chubby Skhreli. I'd meet him. I'd hang out with him. Would you interview God of Cringe with me on the podcast if we got him on?
If you're there, yeah, but I'm not having a conversation with that nutsack by myself. Ugh. No, I got way
I feel
more
like he would,
things in my life
smells weird.
that I would enjoy to do.
I feel like he would smell like... Okay.
Yeah, did you see how sweaty he was just from drinking a frozen coffee? The dude was sweating from drinking a cold coffee in an air-conditioned room.
This smell, I'm having a...
He smells
I'm having a brain, like, I'm having a memory that's bringing back vivid smells to me. Can I explain this to you? Chubby Skhreli smells like there were kids, it was a thing, because we were adolescent children. You can remember in middle school, the smell of, like, a guy that, like, busted a nut in his boxers and then ran a lap around the gym. You know, like sweated and has some like crusty boxers. You know the smell? Like a BO, but like they busted.
I think every male who has been a teenager knows exactly the fucking smell that you're talking about.
And that's what Chubby Skhreli smells like on a regular basis. That's like perpetual. He is not perpetually adolescent. He is perpetually adolescent, actually. So he might be gay, according to Jordan Peterson. But he's also perpetually stink, like a pair of sweaty, skeety gym
perpetually
shorts.
Smelly. Yikes. Yeah, I was going to say he looked like he smelled like saltine crackers that sat in chicken noodle soup overnight. If you ever
I'd eat that.
Stale chicken soup. Yours is worse, though, so...
You'll go with that?
Yeah, we'll go with that, I guess.
Okay. Huh. Well, fuck Skhreli. Should we end on this whole... Let's just end on a depressing ending. Right here.
Good. Yeah.
Everybody's favorite, the exact opposite podcast of our podcast. I think ethically, morally, and probably viewership-wise. Joe Rogan has endorsed Ron DeSantis. And I guess I don't need to explain why this is like a shit take, but I just want to hear him say it.
Work as a good president. I think Ron DeSantis would work as a good president.
Speaking of Gina Carano,
what he's done for Florida has been admirable.
What he's done for Florida has been admirable.
Dead man. Here we go.
Stuff is happening while we have a dead man as president. You know, it's just.
Are you throwing out
it's not fun.
Any support towards anyone, or are you going to hold off and? Because I know, didn't Elon Musk come out recently for DeSantis?
Yeah, I think Ron DeSantis would work as a good president.
There it is.
I mean, what he's done for Florida has been admirable.
Look, I feel like I'm doing breaking news right now.
Elon and Joe. What else do you need? There you have it, folks.
I mean, yeah, you might as well.
Now
honestly,
you know who's coming.
Honestly, if you think about it that way, I mean, you got...
What other influencers do you need?
You got two big boys endorsing Ron DeSantis. I wouldn't be surprised if he does end up being that candidate. But I do think that it's funny that Joe in 2016? When did Bernie run? The first time?
I mean,
16 with
one of
Hillary?
them was 16, sure,
yeah. So 2016, he was a Bernie Sanders supporter. In 2024, he is a Ron DeSantis supporter. Tell me how, in any other way, you could explain Joe Rogan than straight up lying grifter. I mean, he went exactly where the money is. You can see the line. You can draw the line. You could make a fucking cork board with strings. Like fucking It's Always Sunny. Like, who knows if he really, like, if he was really a Bernie guy back then, or if that was just the trend for him and his podcast. But certainly now the trend has went this direction, and he's getting all the views from saying shit like this and supporting people like Ron DeSantis, who suck ass, who he says admirable what he did in Florida. He's talking about COVID numbers, and it's like, Florida if you took Florida as like a country and took their numbers and everything, they're like 9th on the board of like countries in the world that people have died and fucked up on COVID for. Okay? If it was a country by itself. Now it's not, it's part of America, which makes it even worse because we just have the worst numbers possible as a country. But states like Florida and Texas, and I could name a few more, but it's whatever. These kind of states, if they were just shown as like entities by themselves, they would be worse than half the fucking world's countries in terms of the numbers from fucking bullshit like this. So the idea that he would say Ron DeSantis was admirable, you're fucked. The COVID thing doesn't even make any sense. So I'm also going to sign you up for all the other shit he did, like fucking all the don't say gay shit that he's passing right now and yada yada yada. I mean, we're not a political podcast, but whatever. We talk about shitheads like Joe Rogan, but Joe Rogan has leaned completely right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's just
Gina Carano on his podcast.
Going where the money is. That's pretty clear. I'm disturbed. I see a Hassan thumbnail. 53 dead. This is on Biden. I wonder what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah, it's that van that they found.
Van?
They found a U-Haul in Texas that had it was full of dead immigrants, and there was like 9 of them. It was 53 of them, and like 9 of them were in critical condition or whatever, and like almost dead. But the rest of them were dead.
Holy shit, dude! I did not know about this. No, I've been stuck in an editing room for like
you've
two
missed
fucking
the world
days.
burning.
Yeah, you can miss a lot.
All you have to do is take a deep shit, and you miss the world burning these days. So.
Yeah, you can miss a lot in a short amount of time on this globe. Sweet Jesus! Well, hey.
Well, now I'm all hot and bothered.
Hopefully next week will be more fun.
I had fun. I tweeted late, but I had fun. I mean, I love listening to all this JP shit. He's so incredibly unhinged. I mean, that's just going to get worse from here on out. He's got his own podcast now, so we get to basically hear, there's probably a good thing from him every other week.
Oh, good.
I would assume. And he's on... It just seriously is the fucking legion of fucking... It's a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen over there at fucking Daily Wire. They've got fucking the Invisible Woman with fucking Candace Owens, and this analogy's just fallen.
Sean Connery actually would have been a good fit for the Daily Wire, so that works. Oh yeah.
I think what they need to do, because they've got quite the cast. They've got Dennis Prager, which is their scientist. They're like super smart and super, he knows everything. He's the knowledge, the bookkeeper. Then you've got Ben Shapiro, the leader, the brave leader. And you've got Matt Walsh, the fucking big, strong, bearded, beefy man, the brooding Batman. And, you've got JP now, so you've got he's like a Green Lantern or a Flash, like if you're talking about superheroes, I guess. I don't know what super villain. But, they've got all these ensemble characters. Now they need a just straight up unhinged fuck on their pod. They need to give Ted Nugent a podcast. Or that. They need a character like that. That's all they're missing. They need an Alex Jones. They just need to plug Alex Jones in.
InfoWars Daily Wire crossover. That'll be the
Honestly, they should just buy him out.
I mean, that's what's coming. I was just thinking about that. I was like, when's the day Steven Crowder joins?
Or Crowder.
And someday they'll get Tim Pool. It's just a matter
Crowder's
of them
killing
getting
it.
big enough to be able to afford making it worthwhile to absorb that brand.
Yeah, because he is as much as I don't want to admit it, because he's the biggest beanie wearing douchebag online. Some, people would agree with me, I think. His podcast is as big as the rest of them. His operation might be as successful in money making as what Ben is by himself.
Yeah, maybe. I have no idea.
So I think it would probably take them he'd have to really pump out the Skhreli for that, unless you know, they're all so obsessed with themselves and their self-image that Tim Pool was like, oh, it would really benefit me.
I mean,
I think Ben Shapiro might be above Tim Pool.
You never know. I'm just saying that's usually how things tend to go in America. Usually there's only enough room for a couple of brands that do the same thing. So
Amazon's gonna buy them all up.
Eventually, someone is going to buy them all up. Yes, at some point you're going to see most of these talking heads all under one roof. That's just the nature of business today. I mean, shit, we're down to like 6 companies that make television. Like, there used to be hundreds.
We're gonna have Sphere Rob Circle Pants on Daily Wire's Kids channel, and it's gonna teach you how gays are not the ways. So remember that. And next week, maybe Jordan Peterson will shut up for a week, and we won't have anything to say. I won't have to bring up my great Jordan Peterson impression. What are we gonna do without men? Kevin, what are we gonna do without men?
2 chicks at the same time.
2 girls, 1 man.